dysfunction still finds you. No matter how you try to hide from it, it some kind of way it will manifest in your life.
Hey champions, allow me to introduce you to author Shirlene Bailey and her Why My Mom story entitled Good Mom, Bad Habits. How many of you can relate to that? Shirlene had a wonderful mother, but at times she did have some bad habits with the help of her father. So I won't spoil it too much as bad as I want to. I want you to watch it for yourself. Enjoy the story.
My name is Shirlene Bailey. My title is I'm a minister. I'm a facilitator and speaker and a mentor and a writer. My Why My Mom story is a story that I hope will help other women see the effects of alcoholism, not only on their lives, but on their children's lives.
What are some of the things that your mom did unintentionally that did have some type of effect on your upbringing?
Well, one of the things was, as I shared, is that my mom binge drank. You know, a lot of times when she was going through issues with my father, who was a heroin addict, usually after incidents would happen, she would drink. Sometimes it would be days, sometimes it would be months, you know. I think because she was really functional with it, that's how it went on so long. To be the curse breaker of the family, you have to first recognize there is a dysfunction. And then you have to decide that no matter what the costs will be, you're going to be the person who's going to change it for your family. It's hard because if it has become the norm for the family, they see you like and kind of like an outcast, or sometimes you might be accused of trying to be better than the rest of the family. So if alcohol is the norm, everybody drinks, what's wrong with you? Why don't you want to drink? Because I'm trying to break a curse. Oh man, it was something that took me years to figure out, and it was, you are not your parents. You're a product of your parents. You know, they gave you life, but you are not them. A lot of times when my mom was intoxicated, she would compare me to my father. So as a child, I thought, well, this man is a heroin addict. You know, he steals our clothes, he steals our furniture, he sells everything he can get his hands on. Why are you comparing me to him? So at 7, 8, 9, that was damaging to my self-esteem and how I saw myself, because I was, it perplexed me, how could I be compared to this man, who I felt had deserted the family, who didn't love us enough to give up the drug. And so I would tell myself, you're not them. I think the moment I found out that I was a separate individual, that was the beginning of my power and my strength to be free. How did low self-esteem affect me as a child? I didn't feel like I had any self-worth or self-value. It affected my communications with others. I was very, very introverted. I learned how to swallow pain early. I thought if I could just keep it down enough, it would either disappear or go away. And at times it was almost like I just wanted to be invisible. I felt like if I could just get past people, they wouldn't see my brokenness. They wouldn't see my weakness, or what I thought was weaknesses, because like I said, being so compared to him, I didn't know that there was any good in me as a kid. Again, how I got out of it, I want to mostly give credit to God and the Word, because it was just through the Word I learned to really look at Shirlene and what I had and who I was and what I had to offer to the world. And again, that was the beginning of me just building my esteem. In 1994, I became a minister of the gospel, and the call kind of thrust me into a very, very uncomfortable place. So I had to be more out. Well, in the process of forgiveness, me and my mom had a whole lot of conversations. And so what I would say to you is the same thing I said to her. Mom, your drinking was a result of your pain, and you have to get it out. You have to be free. In order for you to totally be free, you got to tap into where that pain is. Recognize it. Come to the truth that it is there. Because if you don't get rid of it, the chances of you going back to drinking is always there. Always there. So in our conversations, there were times when it was a lot of tears, a lot of screaming, a lot of hollering, but it helped her, just reckon with, the choices. I would tell her, Mom, you wasn't wrong to love him. He was broke, and you were broke. So forgive yourself so that you can get to your healing. And that's how her and I worked it out. Like I said, sometimes, it was rough. But we decided that at the end of the conversation, we was going to still go get cheesecake, or still drink coffee, or go shopping, or do something. And learn to respect each other after that battle was over, not only for our relationships, but for our livelihood, And so I would just tell her, open up your mouth and let that pain out. I would tell my mom, scream if you gotta scream. I'll scream with you. We all make choices, and your choice was to love him. And as a result of that, it put you in places that you wouldn't have chosen to be in, but forgive yourself. And those are the kind of conversations her and I had that brought us to just healing and forgiveness. Well, how do you forgive? That is the first step, to make the decision. Because most of the time, when you make that decision, whatever happens in your mind, your body then is given strength to follow through. Even with my father, because I went through that whole process of, he's my father, he gave me, life, and I forgive him, but I don't have to be around him thing. And I had a friend who called me to the rug on it. She was like, and when she wanted to check me, she calls me Evangelist Bailey. She says, is something still there? And I was like, no, I forgave him. But then I decided, you know what? Okay, maybe there is something there. I called my father, got in touch with him. And in the process, I was able to speak out, that I forgive you. For everything you did in your drug addiction. He said, He thanked me for forgiving him. We shared words and stuff. And 2 weeks later, he passed away. So I was glad I had the opportunity to forgive him. With my mom, I found out, even though I had forgiven, I hadn't forgot. Sometimes trauma will do that to you. You so traumatized, it's like you begin to expect the trauma. And even when life is good, no, something's about to happen. And so I always had this suspicion, are you drinking? And sometimes my mom would cry and she was like, I'm sober now. But because my body and everything in me got used to the trauma, it was like, okay, a year has passed. Maybe this is going to be the month when it starts all over again. And I think because my pain had not been given validation, my suspicion would not quiet itself. It was like, oh no, she gonna drink again. She gonna drink again. But then when I just decided, you know what? If she does, you have to decide to forgive and love her and move on and help her as best you can. So, that's what forgiveness looks like to me. You have to forget. Not the situation, but you have to forget the pain of it, because years pass, you're healed, you're better, you gotta let it all go. You just have to let it go in order to be healed,